Welcome to another episode of Dear ADHD Family Coach with Leslie Josel.
Why is my child lying to me about everything? Okay, I want you to really hear me on this one. We get asked this all the time. This is probably the second most thing we talk about in Order Out of Chaos is the lying. Okay, so effort level up, wiggle in your chair, stand up if you need to, because I really want you to hear me talk about lying. Now, I am not talking about lying like stealing, like, real heavy duty lying, like cheating and stealing and things like that. This is more about like everyday occurrences, such like, I said I did my homework, but I really didn't, or I said I cleaned up my room and I really didn't, or that type of thing. I just want to make sure that, again, if your child is doing something like, believe it or not, like, leaving the house in the middle of the night and taking the car to go drive somewhere and then lying to you about it, that's a whole other conversation. So here's what you need to know. Children with executive dysfunction definitely lie more than other kids. But here's what I really need you to hear. Their lying doesn't typically stem from a place of defiance, right? They're not out to be defiant purposely. It comes from feeling overwhelmed, cognitive overload. Here we go, theme of the day, or even challenged by what you're being asked, meaning what's being asked of them. So here's an example. Let's say you ask your child to clean their room. A little time goes by. You ask, did you clean your room? And they say, yeah, of course I cleaned my room. So of course you go in their room to see that they cleaned their room because we're parents and that's what they do. And it still looks like a complete mess. And you're left standing there going, you're bewildered. Like, why would he lie about something as benign as like cleaning his room? So the issue isn't that he intended to lie, but that the task you might have given, listen up, was either too hard, too big, too complicated. And he didn't know where to begin. And when you don't know where to begin and you're overwhelmed, you freeze. And then when push comes to shove, kids, believe it or not, listen here, this is a biggie. They'd rather lie and face the consequences from the lying than try to do what is being asked. Lying is easier, okay? That's the takeaway here. Lying is easier than figuring out what to do. Interesting, right? But that really should bring it all home, because sometimes it could be like, I would rather just get the wrath of my parent than try to figure out how to do something or what to do, or, or I did something impulsive and figure it all out and I'm just going to lie because lying is easier. Okay. So the other thing, and this is super important, is how you respond to this makes all the difference in the world. I know this is going to be hard to hear, really hard to hear, but you cannot take the lying personally. So again, everybody comes to the table with different lying stories. So obviously, if it's a bigger one, you're going to react differently. But lying, kid with the F who lies, has very little to do with disrespect or even hostility. It comes from a lack of problem-solving skills. Okay, here is a few things that you can do. You need to take the emotionality out of the equation, right? I'm not saying you can't be upset. I'm not saying you can't pose a consequence. Remember, we talked about the teaching moment can come later, but shaming your child or asking why he lied is going to get you nowhere. It absolutely is. It only escalates the situation, and it actually steals time from focusing on the reasons behind the behavior. Please stop taking it personally, and please stop asking why, because you're never going to get the answer. And that's only going to frustrate you. And now you have a vicious cycle. I do believe in consequences, but I believe that ones that fit the crime. So a natural consequence to your son not cleaning his room might be that he can't go see his friends until he does. But here's where you need to focus on the root of the issue, right? Because even if you say, well, you can't go see so-and-so until you clean your room, if your child doesn't know how to clean up his room, he's never going to get there. Okay, now I'm going to come off the video for a second because I really want you to hear me. This is my number one tip if your child has lied to you. Your child gets caught red-handed, their brain is flooded beyond control. They cannot think straight. So all the questioning in the world is only going to get him to like explode. And we want to keep the situation calm. I don't want you, if you can, to deal with it right in the moment. I want you to say, you know what? I want to give you time to get your thoughts together. So why don't we, at 8 o'clock, we're going to go sit down at the kitchen table, and we're going to talk about it. And this way, this gives you time to gather your thoughts and tell me what really might have happened here. This is like if something really big happened, you're not going to do this about the bed, but like if your child like did something like not right, like maybe cheated on a test or whatever it is, what you're going to do is not do it in that moment, because all they're going to do in that moment is be defensive and deny it. So what I want you to say, and I have another great line for you, it's let's talk at 8 p.m. so you have time to prepare what you're going to say or get your thoughts together. This strategy allows your child to have space also to remember what happened. Remember, this is all working memory. This is problem solving. This is impulsivity. This is like every executive functioning on fire. And this way they allows your child to get his thoughts and emotions in order.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching. And if you want to be notified when a new Dear ADHD Family Coach episode drops, make sure to hit that subscribe button.